Hey guys, it's your girl Tally back again, sharing a quick message with you on this lunch break, y'all. And this is something I mentioned in the videos previously to this one, and I just want to expound more on why is it so important to heal and find out who you are and really get a hold on who you are, like your identity in this world. Because one thing's for sure, if you have been through it, or you don't know who you are in this world will take advantage of that, unfortunately. So you don't get a pass. That's what I try to explain in this world. In this world, you either play the game or you are going to deal with the consequences of not being able to show up and play the game to your benefit. And I know I'm calling it a game, and that may confuse some of you all, but the game is just a game called life. How to do things, how to act, how to conduct yourself in different environments, being your best self, what holds value to you, your morals, things like that. It's just a whole encompasses your whole life, and you either play it to your advantage, learn your advantages, learn your strength, and learn how to conduct yourself and move through it, or you're gonna just deal with the consequences of not being able to do that, not having the courage to show up and play your hand the way you were dealt. Everybody has their strengths, everybody has their weaknesses, so you have to be able to play to your strengths the way you do it. All right. So now in this world, if one of your weaknesses currently that you don't know who you are, you don't have an identity, this world is gonna try to make you everything that you are not. That's crazy. It's gonna really try to make you everything that you are not. You're gonna go through life meeting people or watching things on television, listening to podcasts, listening and watching a whole bunch of different things, and you're gonna absorb those things, and you're gonna begin to recreate a lot of those things in your life. And I'm sorry to tell you, a lot of the things that we absorb coming through the airways, the media, other people, things we learn from other people, though a lot of the times those things are not right. A lot of the things, those are the toxic things. Those are things that are gonna mislead us. Those are things that cause the depression, that cause the anxiety, that cause just plain sadness and feelings of insecurity and not feeling enough. Though the things that come through the media and just life in general, those are the things that causes a lot of negative influences and feelings and emotions in our life. That's why it's so important, even as someone who understands who they are, someone who knows who they are, someone who has identity. It's important every day to do that inventory on yourself and make sure you're operating from a genuine space in your life, making sure everything that you encounter, that you choose to invest your time and energy to, making sure that it aligns with your purpose. Because even as the most confident, straightforward person who knows who they are, even that person could get off track and follow down a path that is not meant for them. So how much more for someone who is still looking for themselves? If you're still looking for yourself, you are in a vulnerable state, which is why, number one, I said in my past video, a relationship, number one, is the last thing you need to be looking for, because now you're going to absorb things from that person that's not for you. You're going to absorb things for that person, and then you're going to create chaos within that thing, because you don't know who you are. You don't know your standards. You don't know your boundaries. You don't know what you will and won't accept. And by the time you find it out, sometimes it's going to be too late. Sometimes the damage is already done. Sometimes you have a connection to that person that cannot be broken anymore, because you just found out about what you wanted and what you don't want a little bit too late. So this world is just gonna try to throw everything it can at you, and that thing could very well be a relationship that you don't need, with someone that is not compatible with you or not really truly for you, but that person's attracted to your vulnerability. That person's attracted to the fact that you don't know yourself. That person's attracted to the fact that to one of your toxic traits that you picked up from somewhere that you don't even know where you picked up you picked it up from, and now you're demonstrating these things, and it's not even truly you. So if you ever decide to really find yourself and break out of where you used to be or the person you thought you was, and you change into a completely different person, now it's going to cause issues, because this person was attracted to you when you was this way, and now by the grace of God, you overcame this thing. You're not like this anymore, or you're just changing and becoming more of who you are, so you're no longer compatible with that person. That's why it's important to just stay out of relationship when you're still hurting and you just unsure of who you are, when you're still compromising your morals and values. All of that is not the basis of needing a relationship. So that's what I always say, because I know everybody wants a relationship, and that be like the main thing on our hearts nowadays for some reason. And I think it's a natural human being thing, but we just be taking it too far, and we just need to put some parameters around it and boundaries around it, so we don't end up doing the wrong thing and making the wrong decisions. But this is not about relationship. This is about what you're going to become and the things that you are going to absorb when you don't have an understanding of who you are, or if you don't even have a clue. Like, some people, we're on that path and we're beginning to understand, but some people, they don't know. And if you don't know, you're going to need to lock in with your creator. I know everything always goes back to the Lord, everything goes back to Jesus, but that's because everything on this earth is created by the Lord. All right, that's who I recommend. I don't know who you serve, I don't know what's gonna make you find yourself, but what I know for sure is, what other foundational thing can you identify with? Like, I see when people identify with what, like, let's say money is their anchor or their foundation, so everything they do in life is connected to money, it's built on getting money. So your life, it's not even really an anchor, because money goes up, money goes down. So now when your money's not right, it controls everything in your life. So if the stock market's volatile and it's going down, some people, you hear people on Wall Street, they end their lives over that. So is money a good thing to build your life on? If you build your life on people in general, any person, a person, even if, I hear nowadays, even if it's your kids, if you build your life on another human being, human beings have their own lives to live. They have their own decisions to make. You're gonna build your life on something that can automatically make a different decision and choose not to choose you and just walk away from you, or they just have their own life to build. Is that you're gonna put your identity in that? I don't think that's a wise decision, because like I said, human beings are fickle. One way they feel, one day they feel this way, one day they feel that way, and you can't allow yourself to be, your life to be changed, or the quality of your life to be fully affected, because obviously it's going to be affected in some ways, whether or not, but fully affected by somebody else's decisions. That's out of your control. That's not a good way to build your life. So all the jobs, the careers, the schooling, the education, all of those things, I don't believe are wise foundations to build your life on. Because some people, they put all their stock in, oh, I have education, I have this, I have that. But when you just look down to the meat of everything, nothing is stable enough. Nothing is stable enough. You know how many people out here with an education, they can't find a job? How many people out here with an education, they're up to they're swimming in debt because of that education? How many people, they're not even using their degree? They got their degree, they're not even using their degree. Like, it's just so many different volatile factors. And when I say volatile, it's like anything could happen. It could go up, it could go down, it could be good one day, it could be bad one day. So you just don't want to attach yourself to something that could be easily changed, and something that at the end of the day, that doesn't mean nothing. Because whether you have an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, you can't even pass that down to your child. You can't pass it. You can't benefit anybody else's life, really. Like, you can't really pass that down to anybody. These are things that's going to be gone when you are gone off the earth. So it's like, it's very limited. It's finite. A lot of things are just finite. So it's like, when you decide what you're going to attach yourself to, like if you're attached yourself to something that's finite, which means there's an ending date on it, it's not really a strong foundation. It's not a strong foundation. So make sure you just want to attach yourself to something that is actually a strong foundation. And of course, I always recommend the infinite God that we have, because he's a God yesterday. He's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He's been here before the beginning of the earth, will be here to the ends of the earth, forevermore. And he's an unchanging God. So that means whatever in your life goes up and down, God is still the same. No matter what in your life goes up or down, God is still good. So that's why that is just the perfect foundation to attach yourself to, and on that foundation you start building about who you are. Then then God starts revealing things to you. He starts revealing your strengths, your weaknesses, who you are. First the foundation is gonna be set about his love for you. That's really the foundation, the love that he has for you, to send his son to die for you as your ransom, to free you out of sin and to give you eternal life. That right there is really that foundation, and anything could do. After that foundation of love, you're free. You're free to live a life in Christ, and it's the best. And you feel the most fulfilled. You feel like you could do anything, because you can do anything through Christ who strengthens you. And it's up from there. Everything's up from there if you want it to be. Because some people, they got the salvation and they don't do much with it. They just sit around and they just live life in, just like in a mediocre way. And I don't believe that God called us to live mediocre lives, but if that's what you want for yourself, that's what you're going to get. But anytime you want to challenge yourself to do more, to go higher, as soon as you have that foundation of God's love in your life, and you're operating from it, and you are following the lead of it, then the sky's the limit for you. There's no boundaries or barriers that can't be broken. There's nothing that's going to be impossible for you. So once you build your life on it and you find your identity, no longer are you going to start just absorbing different ideas and practices from everywhere. You're not going to start putting just what people say. If you really do your research, a lot of things that people say, especially like in the music that we listen to, they're not really living that life. And if they're really living that life, a lot of them are not doing good mentally and emotionally. A lot of mental health, that's why mental health is declining the way it does, because there's certain lifestyles that you live, your mental health will decline. I was thinking about that. I was doing some like inner searching about that. There's some lifestyles, especially if that lifestyle is unnatural to the way we were created to live, those things cause a decline in mental health. Another thing that I see causes a decline in mental health is living a double life. That's something that really, the Bible says you're unstable in all your ways. So in your mind, you're unstable. Like, it is better for you to choose the wrong path and go, not better for you to choose the wrong path. It's never better to choose the wrong path. But I'm saying you will be more mentally stable in life if you just choose a path, whether it's the wrong path or whether it's the right path. You will be more mentally stable than someone who's living a double life. Like someone who has chosen to go down the wrong path and they have committed to that decision, they are more mentally stable than someone who keeps going in between. So that's what we have to realize. You have to choose a path and you have to commit to it, because you can't have two different identities flowing through you. That's what causes the instability. That's what causes a mental health decline. You have to, and then it's confusion. At the end of the day, it's confusion. So you got to choose a path. You choose a path with all that God is doing in your life. You have love, you have his foundation, you have everything going for you. Now you choose a path, and and hopefully that's going to be a godly path, right? And then and if you have God, it should be a godly path. And then you move from there. Everything's not going to be revealed to you at the beginning. You're still going to struggle a little bit, but you still trust God. You have that faith that he will open up different things to you, different avenues, different opportunities for you to continue to discover who you are, discover your strengths, work on your weaknesses, develop yourself, personal development, for you to do whatever you're called to do on this earth. And it looks different for everybody, because everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different purpose. But when you're on that path, less and less you're gonna begin you're gonna begin less and less to start to keep absorbing, you know, things in this world that has nothing to do with who you are, that has nothing to do with your path and your purpose. A lot of us are stuck in these paths that are not for us, and we're kicking against a wall, because and the wall's not moving because God is trying to show you that this is not for you. God is trying to show you that you're on the wrong path. That's why a lot of things are not working out, because God used those things not working out and all this rejection, he uses that to redirect you to another path. So there's going to be personality changes, there's going to be changes in character, there's going to be changes in your thought process, there could be changes in your morals, your value, your life direction, your education, your career path. There's going to be a lot of changes, the things that you've wanted for your life. There's going to be there could be many changes in that when you begin to know who you are and find out who you are. There's going to be ideas that you used to accept about yourself and about life that you release, and you're like, okay, no, this is not for me. And these are the things that's going to make you more confident and more of a fulfilled individual, instead of walking through life and just accepting everything. No longer are you going to just accept everything, you know, and that is a good telltale sign of somebody who is growing and developing and becoming an individual. Because there's this theory in life that, you know, you should be just accepting of everything and everything is good and no, that's not true. That's not true. And I feel like that's like a deceitful narrative that people are trying to feed us, that we're just supposed to accept everything. No. When you become an individual, you become, and you're on your path, your purpose, you're not going to be able to accept everything. Not like, maybe you might have to tolerate it, but like accept everything is good. No, you're gonna have boundaries. You're gonna have to make judgments about what's for you, what's not for you, what you can tolerate and what you can't tolerate, what kind of friends you could have and what kind of friends that you can't have. You're gonna have to make judgments, actual judgments about it. I know people like, oh, don't judge. No, we judge every day. We judge what food to eat. We judge how much water we're gonna drink. We judge if we're gonna go to the gym or not. We judge so many things, healthy and unhealthy things for us every day. You judge what kind of music you're gonna listen to. You judge what you're gonna do for the day. You judge if you're gonna get up and go to work or not. All of that is making judgments, making decisions. So you're gonna have to judge righteously. You're gonna have to judge the right way to make sure that you're staying on your path and you're not letting other things that are not for you infiltrate your life. And it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be random things that just try to come, that try to become a part of you, or things that you realize that you picked up over the years that is not a part of you, that you're gonna have to make that judgment to let it go. Make that judgment like, this is not for me. I developed this because I went through that, or I developed this because I was hurt by this, but no longer am I gonna allow these things that I picked up to control my life. It's time to let it go. It's time to move on. So that's my little quick message about you, about knowing who you are and how to develop yourself as an individual, and then now making sure you protect your path and protect your purpose. So I'll talk to you guys soon.